Hey there guys, these are your handover videos for your Swift Major 6 TD with Swift command board. So, starting off at the front, you've got your hitch head just here and black lever. You have to pull up the black lever and have the hitch head up, and then put the jockey wheel down to get it onto your tow bar, and you'll see a green ring pop up. You have a handbrake just here, and then you have 13 pin electrics. So if you do have 7 pin electrics on your car, make sure you bring an adapter. Okay, then 2 points either side, 2 points at the back. You have inserts for your legs. Caravan comes with a leg winder included, but if you wanted to speed up the process, you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and just attach it onto that and drill it down. Make sure you put down all 4 corner steadies, but do not use the corner steadies to attempt to jack up or level the caravan itself. First level using your jockey wheel, and then stabilise using all 4 corner steadies. Inside here you have your gas bottle with the gas hose connected onto this regulator, as you can see just here. Now you can hand tighten that to an extent and then just finish it off using a spanner. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas in the positive or open direction, and that will begin to feed gas through into the caravan. Moving along, we have this here, which is your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of the boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice and clean. Then just here you have your insert for your water pump. So we're not going to be running water through it today, as the caravan has just been drained off. But the water pump, which I'll show you inside the caravan, inserts into here by just pressing it in, and then it operates on a trigger system. You have to press in the trigger to pull it out. The main thing to note is that when you are using it, you have an acroll full of clean drinking water, and make sure that the pipe itself doesn't curl up, as you want the strainer to sit at the bottom of the barrel, otherwise it will gasp air through. Then we've got your battery locker just here. There is a battery fitted on this one. Then you have your mains, which plugs in just there, and then your point for your motor weaver just behind. You have a little cutout there as well, just so that you can shut up this locker, lock it up, and not have to worry about anyone pulling your mains lead out. Motor mover, we will go over on collection day. And there's just a few bits at the back. So there we go. You have 2 inserts here, which is where your wastewater will come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to feed into a waste master. These both come out of your showers and sinks. And these 2 parts here are for your toilet operation. This top one is for the flush capacity. You feed in water here using something like a watering can. Around about 10 litres is the maximum capacity. You can also mix in a little bit of pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive. You feed that into here, and then on the toilet you press the button for the flush and it pushes the water about. Then below it you have your cassette toilet. On the toilet it will flash up with a light to say when the toilet is full. Then you have to empty it. So to empty it, you press up on this orange handle and pull out just like so. You can also extend this handle out into almost like a suitcase position. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. There you go. It's a little bit awkward doing it with one hand, but there we go. Then once you've got to your emptying point on site, you twist that orange head to the side, open up that cap. You'll have to put this handle back into its normal position. You will then want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, you continually press in this button here to vent. Now, what I'd recommend after you do that is open up that part, and there, fill in some fresh water, give it a swill out, and again tilt and vent. Now, importantly, you keep that on when you insert it back into position, as otherwise it won't be able to open. This cap is fairly important as well. It has measurements in both imperial and metric for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into here, winds back on, head back to the central position, push the cassette toilet back in. To use two hands for a second, and you can see here the orange handle sits behind this white teeth. That way it can't be removed. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so to fully empty this top capacity you have a little bung here which you just open up and drains out any remaining water inside that system. Okay, then underneath your right hand side bed you have all of this. First up, you can open this up by just removing these cushions here, and that will give you access to the boiler. Main things I want to go over, these blue leads leading to this yellow switch valve. That yellow switch valve is your drain valve. When it's in the vertical position, that means it's in drain mode. Any water that you've plugged into the system from the acroll will be drained out when it's in the vertical position. When you want water to flow through and allow you to get to the sinks and everything else, you switch that over to the horizontal position. Now it can be horizontal either side. We are going to keep that in the vertical position for you when you leave today. So when you do get on site to first use the caravan, check that out. This here is your brain box for your motor mover. This grey box is the battery charger. And then up here, you have both your trips and fuses. All your fuses in the correct position and all your trips in the upright position. You can then see on the top, both charger and heating and hot water are illuminated, meaning that they're both working. And then you have a system shutdown button. Press that in, nothing inside the caravan is able to work. It's essentially the kill switch. Obviously, when you press it back in again, everything works again. It's not you press it once and the caravan self-destructs or anything, but it's essentially a shut off. And then you have a little bit more information about your trips and fuses. One other thing I just want to go back to for the yellow valve, I'd say have that up permanently in winter, as you don't want the pipes bursting and freezing if there's any water inside. And anytime you come off site, just give it a quick drain off just before you drive away. Just makes it more comfortable. Then just to show you this last bit, this is your water pump. You can see here that's the insertion bit, inserts into that plug outside, just like that. You have a plastic cap to go over the top of the acroll, then you have a strainer at the bottom. The strainer has to sit at the bottom of the barrel, as otherwise it's just going to gasp air through. You can see here that the previous owner has fitted some waste hose to go around it. It is fresh waste hose, just so it's nice and straight, because they do have a tendency to curl up. So always check that that is at the bottom of the barrel. For the door, we have these two units here. This first one is called a Swift command board, and what I'm going to focus on first. It essentially works similar to an iPad. You press that button there, which is essentially your on and off switch, and then you'll come to this, which is the main menu. It says at the top a few bits of information, such as the internal, external temperature, date, time, and leisure battery charge. Now that leisure battery charge is obviously going to be incorrect because we have mains plugged in at the moment, and it's going to sense the mains more than it is the actual leisure battery. But you have this screen here. So first up, you've got your pump button. Press that in, which I'm just going to do for a second, and it will have a blue border go around the outside. Now, I'm not going to press that in and hold it or anything like that. You just press it once. And then what you do with your water plugged in is make sure your yellow switch valve's in the correct position. Come over to your tap, open both hot and cold, and let it run for around about 30 seconds. And what you're after is a nice, steady, continuous stream. If there are any coughs or any splutters, go to the outside, check that your strainer is sitting at the bottom of the barrel. You then have awning light just here, so I'm just going to turn that off. Non-bright border means it's off. Press it in, that means it's on. So go to the outside and you can see there that that is on. So I'm just going to keep that off. Whoop, press twice there. Then you have lighting. So this is for both your lights at the back and at the front of the caravan. So first up, dimmer 1, press that in to the middle and it goes off which you can see there. Press it in again and turns it on. You can then dim the lights using down and up, so that's 40, you can see a bit dimmer, and if I were to press and hold, go all the way to 100, you can see it's a lot lighter. It may not come up the best on my camera. Then dimmer 2, it's the exact same concept, but for the front of the caravan. So press it in, turns it off, and you can see those are off. Press it in again, and then dim it to whatever level, and you just use the respective light switches for the respective lights inside the caravan. So that's like an on and off for it, and then you just use your light switches. Then you've got your power. So this shows the amount of power coming into the caravan. So you have leisure, solar and vehicle. First up, leisure. It says right now there is either 14.2 or 14.3 volts of power coming into the caravan. Again, that's not an accurate representation of a leisure battery, but rather the mains that are coming into the caravan. If you were to take the mains out and strictly just have on the leisure battery, it would give you an accurate representation. Press this button here, and it goes over to an AC current, which allows you to also set a limit for it. Go back, pressing the home button there, then you have some additional settings. Now, this is very simple. It just allows you to set the date, the time, the day that it is, so it's not a Tuesday. The screen brightness, the screen timeout, allows you to pair with Bluetooth and have a key beep. So when I'm pressing in, you hear a beep. I'm going to keep key beep on. And then lastly, you have radio. So you don't have a physical radio module inside the caravan, you have this instead. Now, when you want to have some tunes going, press on mode, goes to FM, and then you just tune however. Go to DAB, aux cord, which I believe there is a, it's not in that drawer, but there's, in one of the drawers there is a module, which I'll show you in just a second, and then you can plug into aux through there. You can control the volume, set presets, tune and scan, or just connect via Bluetooth and go off that. But that's how to operate the Swift command board. That aux bit that I was just on about, it's just inside this part here, and then you have the plug-in part for aux just there. You then have this, which is the Truma heating system. So this is both for your hot water and your heating inside the caravan. It will go to this grey screen when it's not being used in a while, just so it doesn't interrupt you whilst you sleep. Press in on the dial, so you've got a back button here, a dial which twists side to side to allow you to select stuff, and to select whatever, you press in on the dial. So first up, caravan with the thermometer in it, press in. This is for the internal temperature of the caravan that you desire. Whatever you want, so let's say I want it at 20 degrees today, I twist to 20 degrees and I press in on the dial, and then if I go back to it, you can see I'm on 20 degrees, use the back button. You then have your heating. For your hot water, you either have off, eco, hot or boost. So eco gets the temperature of the water to 40 degrees. Hot will get it to 60 degrees. A boost will boost the temperature of the water to that hot setting for about 15 minutes and then drop it back down. That's ideal if you're wanting to use the shower or something like that in the morning. I'm not going to have it set. As you can see, I haven't pressed in on the dial, so it hasn't selected anything. It will show at the top what I've selected. Next up, you've got your source, which you want to use for energy. You can either use gas, mains, or a mixture of both. So first up, you've got gas. You've got mix 1, which is a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of electric. A mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt. Strictly electric with 1 or 2 kilowatt. I'm going to select electric 2. Press in on the dial. Then we have fan speed. So you can either have eco or high. Eco will be a bit of a steadier stream of air coming out the vents, and high will boost it a little bit more. It's not similar to the boost on that one. It will just be a continuous higher stream of hot air. Next up, you can set timers for when you'd like the heating and hot water to come on. So you first input the time for the start of it, and then you input the time for when you'd like it to stop, just so that you're not wasting gas or anything like that whilst you're away from the caravan. Then you've got the time, which you set here. It's obviously not 1:15. Then you have some additional settings here: offset, temperature, brightness, 12 or 24-hour clock, language, index or reset. I'm not going to go through them. If that's something that you're interested in having a look at, have a look at your book packs for that. And then to turn this off, press and hold in the middle, comes off. Then we've got your gas cooker, which works similar to any sort of gas cooker that you may have at home. Pressing on the dial, twist it to the side, and at the same time pressing on the igniter. This is what it looks like when they're lit. And you can see nice blue clean continuous flames. Turn that off, back to the central position. Then you have the grill, and there you can see both sides nice and lit. Then lastly, for the oven, see if I can do this with one hand. There you go, nice and lit again. Only other real thing to note, don't travel with this glass sheet up, make sure it's down, but don't put it down until all of these are cold to the touch. Then we've got the toilet operation, which is bog simple. Got your toilet here, button at the top, press in, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what would push away the flush water that you filled up outside. Then underneath you have a catch, push it away, opens up the cassette toilet down below, pull it back to you and shuts it back up. Simple as that. Then we have your fridge operation here. So to turn it on, you press and hold in on that button there. It will flash up and go to its most recent memory, which in this instance was mains on full capacity. To change the mode, you've got this button here. So you've either got the choice of leisure battery, gas, mains or auto. Switch it over to auto, flash up and go to mains. Now when I press it again, it's going to go over to leisure battery, not leisure battery, sorry, car battery. Car battery. So this is when you're plugged in to your car with the 13 pin. As I'm not currently plugged in, it is going to come up with a hazard. So this is what it looks like. Begin to flash and beep. Switch it over to gas. Now for gas, you'll gradually hear it begin to tick in. Once it's stopped ticking, that means that the gas is lit for the fridge. But for now, we're just going to keep it on mains. Then you have this thermometer here, allows you to change the amount of power coming to the fridge. 5 being the maximum, 1 being the minimum. 5 is going to chill it the quickest. It does take around 4 hours for the fridge to fully chill. So when you are driving away to site, just stick it on car battery. I keep on saying leisure battery. Car battery, and just chill it whilst you drive. Then to turn it off, you press and hold in on that button and you can see no more blue lights flash up.